many people in the studio tonight. No, there are what, one, two, three, there's 6 of you. They are fair to Middlin, but not really. They're actually quite outstanding. They are fair to outstanding.
Fairly outstanding.
And you know how it is. We start the show by diving right into a song. So we invite you to do that.
All right. This is called Borderland. This is a song I wrote. 1, 2, 3. Looking out my window through stained glass daffodils, chasing the westering sun. On the run, I'm going home. Climbing up the mountain with a suitcase in my hand, racing up and falling down on the ground where I started from. Got meets the Cherokee in the borderland. That's where I'll be. In the borderland, my soul is free. Top of the borderland, you can see the world below. The road is rough, the lane is steep, the roots are deep on the other side. Trying to move ahead, but I'm always looking back, stuck in the middle somewhere in the air, in the borderland. Where the Pisgah meets the Cherokee in the borderland, that's where I'll be. In the borderland, my soul is free. Thank you.
Fair to Middlin live here in the studio and sounding pretty good. I said it was going to take 7 seconds to get the sound dialed in. It maybe took 7.5, but you guys are sounding really good now. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
It'll be a first.
Thank you. Yeah.
Fair to Middlin, you know.
Right, fair to Middlin. So what have you guys been up to?
We've been practicing a lot.
Well, that part is obvious.
Yeah.
Oh, playing music, writing songs, all the good stuff. I retired, so I could talk about this for a long time.
Congratulations.
I do nothing but sing songs and
I'm super
write
jealous.
music and, yeah, I know.
That's right. You, Susan, were one of the songwriters in the round recently, were you?
I was, yeah.
A good experience?
It was wonderful. It was really, really wonderful. We had a great time, and in fact, it was Bette Paget and Isabel Taylor and I, and we're going to repeat it over at the Huron Street stage in
fantastic.
March. Yeah. Well, yeah. End of this month. I guess it is
Yeah,
March.
this is March.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Woo!
You're retired. You don't care what the months are
I
anymore.
know.
He doesn't know what
I
day it
don't
is.
know.
But we have been practicing for an upcoming gig, so we will be playing at Pittsburgh at the Havoc Brewery next Friday.
Oh, sweet.
Actually. Yes. Yeah.
And the
Have you-
weather looks great.
Good. You guys been down to Havoc Brewery before? I ask because I have not. I hear great things, though.
We're going tomorrow.
Yeah.
Scouting mission.
Yes.
Reconnaissance, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's right across from the courthouse, so you can't miss it on the circle.
Oh, yeah. So it is Pittsburgh. Can't miss it.
Right there. Yeah.
Oh, I have notes.
We're trying to make sure we get the sound just right on the live stream. You might, Nick, if you could just maybe pull back from the mic a
pull
little,
back,
a little
okay.
bit. Make sure you don't.
Oh, we tell
With the
him that
mic.
all the time.
Okay.
He's such a diva. He is such a diva.
I mean,
Yeah.
we knew that, but we want to honor that in all the things.
Okay.
I do some.
I've noted the notes.
Okay.
Things I was hearing myself too. So
Okay.
good. We're fortunate enough to have enough technicians here in the studio that Kirk
What technicians?
Kirk can run off down the hallway and listen through his phone. And often when we have a big sound here in the studio, it's difficult to hear what the broadcast sounds like. So going down to the end of the hallway and listening through your phone gives you a much better idea of what the broadcast sounds like. So again,
Very
we are
technical.
dialed in.
Very
Yeah,
technical.
highly technical
Yeah.
technicians we
Yeah.
have here at WHUP. So another song?
Yeah, this is one that
Wait,
Matt wrote.
we missed somebody. Where'd Jim go?
He took a little break.
I guess you don't need Jim for this song.
Yeah,
We
no.
kind of do.
Well,
Yeah, we can keep on going.
we can keep on going.
Yeah.
He's going to sit
Yeah.
down for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so what do you want to do on the break there? Just do
Well,
another
Just
banjo.
one.
Do another banjo.
Banjo will do his break as well.
Oh, can't have too
Oh,
many
no.
banjo breaks.
Yep.
Ooh, he just scared y'all now.
You just opened
Radio's
the door to
all
the banjo
over.
joke.
All right, this
Those
is
are turning off.
this is the Hills of Carolina. This is a song that I wrote during the pandemic. So it's all about getting back together, doing what we love to do, which is singing, making music. So Hills of Carolina.
1, 2, 3.
I'm going back someday to that red mountain bay, back to the hills of Carolina, where the songs are sung, the voices blend as one, and we'll be together till the end of time. In the hills of Carolina, back where I belong, I'll meet you there. When the time comes, it's coming soon enough, but it's taking way too long. We will gather where there is music in the air. Our friends of mine will be a sight to see, and we'll fill our cups with fellowship and love. Our voices lifted and our spirits free. In the hills of Carolina, back where I belong, I'll meet you there. When the time comes, it's coming soon enough, but it's taking way too long. Little banjo now. handgun. We'll have had ourselves some fun, full of merriment and all that revelry. And we'll look around at the fortune we have found, friendship forged in verse and melody. In the hills of Carolina, back where I belong, I'll meet you there. When the time comes, it's coming soon enough, but it's taken away too long. Guitar. Oh, mandolin. Oh, please take me where all is fine and fair, o'er those rolling hills as far as you can see. It's the home I've known, I can always call my home. It's in Carolina, that's the place for me. In the hills of Carolina, back where I belong, I'll meet you there. When the time comes, it's coming soon enough, but it's taken away too long. In the hills of Carolina, back where I belong, I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. When the time comes, it's coming soon enough, but it's taken away too long. I said it's coming soon enough, but it's taken away too long.
Fair to Middlin, live here in the studio.
How do songs like that, there's a lot of you, multiple songwriters, all musicians, a song is born. One of you bears one. And how does it get into the band? Like, how do you arrange? Who accepts what burden or weight of the song?
It's kind of a process. I mean, I think we practice once a week, and lots of times we bring songs in and just sort of work through, play them over and over, and kind of see what works. And I do want to mention that when we were here, we were here, played here once before, and we had Lynn Spears with us in
Yeah.
the band at that point. Lynn, for me, was always the person that we would play and sort of try something out, and then immediately look over at Lynn for approval, because she had such a good ear, and so we miss her. But we have Roy Smith in the band now.
Fantastic
Which-
banjo player.
That was
great.
actually a question I had teed up to ask myself. Was we know it was an emotional time losing Lynn, but how did it affect the band musically? And I think largely you answered that right there.
Well, a little bit. I mean, one thing I want to say about that is that Lynn already wanted Roy in the band.
Yeah.
So she was kind of, she had really bad carpal tunnel,
Right.
and she felt like her banjo playing just wasn't kind of where she wanted it to be. And so she was kind of like, we should really get Roy to play banjo in the band. So I feel like she kind of guided us to this moment anyways. Yeah.
I think she just wanted a banjo orchestra.
I don't think anyone would be mad about that.
Well,
There might be some.
Okay.
You've heard the jokes, right?
how much of that whiskey have you been drinking?
I tell the jokes. No, it sounds, when it finally does come together, we've heard you a lot. We've heard you at Centerfest, and you always sound very much on point. I find it
Very
hard
tight,
to believe they
yes.
only rehearse once a week. That's a surprise to me. You sound like you rehearse more often than that, but how many years have you been together?
Ooh, that's a really good question that I'm not sure I have an answer for.
Well, probably about 5 or so. It
5 or
started up
so
at Pick
years.
and Bow,
I joined
basically.
in spring 2019.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really kind of
Yeah,
the
we found
start
this
of
guy
it
at
then.
Merlefest and said, "Hey, Jim, you want to be in a band?"
So definitely not forever.
I joined about 40 minutes before going on stage at Hop and John.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
that was
That's
right.
right.
So just walking through the audience, grabbing fiddle players. Come on,
Hop and
Pretty
John. You can
much.
find a fiddle player anywhere.
right?
That's we're loving this, and we've got some. Gabriella LaFoley is listening from overseas.
Nice.
Just got in from a hard day's graft, feeling fair to Middlin. Fair to Middlin have raised my joy levels and singing along at the top of my voice.
Thanks, Gabriel.
Which makes me wonder why we haven't heard that. If she's singing at the top of her voice.
We should hear that from here.
All right, so
But we need to
Y'all
give
play
her
another song.
something else to sing along
that's right.
to.
So this is another one of Nick's. So Nick,
This is a song called "Take Me Back," and it's. I think I have a friend and a common friend of many of us, Jim Pickrell, who he called me and said, "I've been trying to write this song and I just can't get it, so I'm giving it to you." Thank goodness he did, because I really love it. But it's all about sort of reconnecting with your hometown, and he ultimately said, at some point I didn't care where I would be buried or whatever, and then he took a trip back to his hometown and just connected with like the things he recognized and the families, and
Nice.
I thought it was something that probably a lot of people can identify with. It's called "Take Me Back." Ready? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've been thinking about my life and all the things I've done, and all the places I have lived. I've moved all around from town to town, never looking back. I took a trip back up to my old hometown, and I walked alone in the graveyard there. All those names on the stones, the families I have known, it took me back. Take me back to where tobacco fields roll on for miles and miles. My cousins fish the river and everybody smiles. Take me back to where St. Peter will surely find my weary soul. Lay me down in my hometown, oh lay me down. The Middletons were laid down in a family pub. They had land and a house full of kids, and the undertaker heart took the best spot in the front. It took me back. Young Philip was my best friend all those years ago. He lost his mother when he was just a boy. I saw her laid to rest. Now Philip sleeps abreast. It took me back. Take me back to where tobacco fields rolled on for miles and miles. My cousins fish the river and everybody smiles. Take me back to where St. Peter will surely find my weary soul. Lay me down in my hometown, oh lay me down. I've been thinking about my life and all the things I've done, and what's to become of me. It's my last request, lay me there to rest, please take me back. Take me back to where tobacco fields roll on for miles and miles. My cousins fish the river and everybody smiles. And I know that St. Peter's gonna find my weary soul. If you lay me down in my hometown, yes, lay me down in my hometown. Please lay me down in my hometown. Oh, lay me down.
Fair to Middlin, live here in the studio.
Jim wrote a good song, gave a good song to be finished
Well,
as a great song.
that's an interesting point because you mentioned previously that obviously there's a lot of musicians in this band, but a lot of songwriters too. I'm wondering how that works. When you write a song, is it fully formed and you bring it to the band and you say, okay, here's your part and here's your part and here's the part, do what I say? Is it more, I've got a halfway finished song and I'm going to bring it in and we kind of finish it together, or is it a little bit of both? How does that process work?
It's usually pretty far along by the time it
Yeah?
is presented to the band, yeah.
So not a whole lot of changing, but maybe harmonies
Structure,
here
at
and there,
least, is set.
right?
But songs evolve. I mean,
And they do, yeah.
Kim's a songwriter. She knows that sometimes you write something and you hold on to it for a couple of years, and then finally somehow you finish it. And this song in particular that I just wrote, I just did, I think I wrote it in about 20 minutes because Jim gave me so much information that it just flowed out. I've had other ones that take years.
Plus, dead people, that's sort of his genre. So it was really right on
It is.
point for
Songs
Nick.
from the grave.
Well, I got to say, I would reconnect with my old hometown, which is Chapel Hill, but I can't find parking.
Yeah, but Hills of Carolina, that evolved over several bouts of walking through the woods, coming up with a verse, and then the chorus, and then other verses. And then I remember doing it. I play a bass, so I'm like trying to figure out a chordal instrument. So I actually played it first on a ukulele, just to have the chords. And it started out in G, actually, and we kept moving it up. Like, oh, what do we think about this? What do we think about that? Oh, let's put it in B flat. How about C? And so we finally, stop. Okay, that's good. So yeah, it's definitely a band decision about lots of arrangements that happen.
So that's one thing I always wonder about bands is that how much, between all of you, what's the level of, say, formal music understanding and training? Like, not a lot of people who come in here, it has always surprised me, don't read music.
Right.
And that was always, I just kind of walked around thinking everyone read music, but many people don't. So it's a mixed bag in here. So, no, y'all shaking your heads.
Yeah,
no,
I
read
don't-
I
music.
don't read charts. with
Really?
the notes. No.
I can't sight read like at the speed that to play along with it.
Really?
John does, but
I'm handicapped by the ability to read. Yeah.
Well, also I have known that like fiddle players are typically formally trained at some point. You kind of get the classical training and you get that foundation, but you just picked it up and
Oh no, I've had years and years of lessons.
Okay.
I was like Ben Franklin said, start young like I did. He was 50 when he picked up the fiddle.
okay.
Reasonable.
I started even younger. I was 21 when I started.
And then based on what we know about Mando players, you were in a metal band at one point, right?
no, I was
Okay, you were not.
no. I grew up in Tennessee, surrounded by country and gospel music.
Okay.
So those are my roots.
You're the only one. You're the only person who's walked in here, I think, in the past year. Because we're like,
I started playing mandolin probably in my 30s, and I picked it up because my great grandmother was from a musical family in Tennessee, and she played mandolin.
wow.
And times were tough, and her father said, we're going to have to sell the family instruments. And so she always told me, I wish I could have kept my mandolin.
Aw.
So
So
I
that planted that seed for you have to play a
planted
mandolin.
the seed. That's what I wanted to do.
But Kim is not making things up. We went
True.
for a series of bands here. We asked people, hey, how did you learn how to play your instrument? And our mandolin players just repeatedly said, well, I was playing guitar in a metal band, and then...
Yeah.
And a lot of mandolin players, you can sit and watch them, and you think, oh, yeah, they are totally shredding.
I am
It
so
tracks.
opposite of metal band.
Well, we would love for you to plant some more seeds in the studio. Can you play us another song?
So from Take Me Back to Bring Me Back, this is one of Jim's
Yeah, this
songs.
is one of my songs. Bring Me Back Again. It's one of those that came pretty quickly and was done, 80% done in 2 hours, but hasn't changed much since it's been written. Beautiful song. 1, 2, 3, 4. I waded dark waters trying to get to you. too. Stormy times and times that weren't so good never stopped me from seeing all the good. All I needed was to see you smile, to bring me back again. I climbed the mountain trying to get to you. I held out a hand, hoping you would too. Words said in anger and in pain were never meant to hurt or to blame. All I needed was to see you smile, to bring me back again. We waded dark waters and made it through. I held out a hand and you did too. Stormy times and times that weren't so good never stopped us from seeing all the good. All we needed was to see us smile, to bring us back again. Bring us back again. Bring us back again.
More Fair to Midland live here in the studio. Jim Suter, that was one of your songs, and you, just to remind you, you were one of the songwriters of the Songwriter Series over across the street at Yonder just last week, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that was one of the better ones that I've been to. You guys had a big engaged crowd who were singing along with you guys, and the three of you on stage did an amazing job of harmonizing and backfilling, playing along with each other, rather than it just being three individuals on stage. You were almost like a group on stage with people taking turns leading.
Yeah.
It was from my perspective in the audience, that was a wonderful thing. From your perspective in the hot seat, how did it go for you?
I was happy. We were all three, thrilled the way it turned out.
Uh-huh.
We practiced probably twice a week for 5 weeks before, which is not usually what the songwriters do.
That
and
must
so I
be
think
it.
we have a new band. So
Hey, he's cheating on us.
You're not a bass player. You can't be in 5 bands.
well, I'm already in 2 or 3.
You know, Kim, you were asking about one of the things I think that's really fun about having so many songwriters and so many different singers in the band is we do a lot of different styles that we can bring and a lot of different things. So I think it keeps things really interesting when you can go to from a bluesy song to a fiddle tune inspired song. That I think keeps it really fun and keeps us all kind of engaged in what we're doing.
I think it sort of takes pressure off. If
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
if you're the lead singer and you're the only lead singer, every time you're singing and you're, in this case, like I didn't sing at all in that. So I could just sit back and listen and play. And it's kind of nice to just have that break.
It is.
Yeah, and we often like to bluegrassify songs too. So like "I Will Survive," bluegrass style is.
I think it's also really nice for audiences, again, because we've seen you in front of multiple audiences, which are always full of families. There's kids to people who are older. There are people dancing. There are people sitting. But visually, what's really interesting about what you're talking about, Nick, is that we can look all over and know that everyone is carrying the whole band, the whole song, instead of having this kind of cult of personality band or whatever. We don't have to look at one spot all the time. And I think that's really nice for audiences.
I don't know. I'm watching Matt the whole time.
Are you now? All right, then.
He's awfully
It's the
good
bass.
looking.
Right?
I mean, he really is. I get it.
On the promo for our gig next week, he got a new name. His name is now Live Music.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have live going right across my face, as opposed to Dr. Velvet. But
Yeah, there could be worse things painted across your face.
true.
Well, we have made it to the top of the hour, and it's time for us to remind you, dear listeners, that we are public radio. We're not public radio. We're community radio, and we exist because of the community. We are of, by, and for the community, and we have sponsors in our second hour of Pass the Hat.
but wait, we are
you're right.
WHUP LP Hillsboro.
Look at you trying to keep the FCC off our backs.
I don't like getting sued. That's not nice.
I already said multiple bad words, but there is a box there in front of you with a bow on it.
Yeah, we know.
Well, somebody please hold that up.
Oh yes.
It's always the bass player.
We'll get into that in a minute. Support for Pass the Hat is sweetly provided by Matthews Chocolates, 104 North Churton Street, Hillsborough, North Carolina, the finest in chocolate and chocolate accessories for all of your chocolate needs. And let's face it, we all have chocolate needs. Every guest on Pass the Hat gets a gift of chocolate from Matthews Chocolates. We don't know what's in the box, but we know that it's wonderful. We also know it's probably not enough to feed the whole band.
Oh, which
kinda
is
small.
good.
Well, I was
Then
going to say
can
this
take
is
them all.
Matthew's chocolate, so
Nope.
So
Words.
I'm thinking we're going to be having a dance-off later.
okay. Thank you.
But also, Kim had something to say about bass players.
Well, look, we've noticed a pattern. You do this long enough, you notice patterns. And we once had a bass player sit on camera while they were playing, and he ate the entire box during the performance, as he also was, I don't know how.
Occasionally playing bass, yes.
Yeah, that was some multitasking I've not seen before.
But that happened
Multiple times.
multiple times.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
So-
there's a
I mean,
thing about
We're
bass players.
watching you.
All right.
I've had a lot of Matthew's chocolate, and he had his priorities exactly right, is all I've got to say about
Oh,
that.
yeah.
More chocolate, less playing.
Yeah.
Well, not for me. I mean, I'll have the chocolate if you guys will play.
Yes.
No.
We will munch on our chocolate now, and y'all can play us a song.
Please.
So this next one is one that I wrote, and it's kind of about listening to your mama, but carefully. And Jim's gonna kick us off.
2, 3.
Well, my mama always told me, leave no stone unturned. I listened so carefully, and that's when I got burned. And I kicked over a rock.
Middlin live here in the studio, and it's time, dear listener and watchers of the live stream, for a very brief segment we call Gear Time, which we're going to have to keep brief because we got 47 people in the studio with gear. But Matt, it looks like your bass kind of started to fall into a black hole.
Yeah, this is what we call the skinny bass. It's an eminence bass. It is a true acoustic instrument with a sound post, but when you have it going through a nice amp here, it sounds for all the world like an upright. It can bow.
It sounds
Well,
fantastic.
Yeah, so it's a lovely
There's
instrument.
no room for the big.
Yes, thank you for bringing the black
Yes,
hole bass.
I went with the skinny bass.
And Jim, is that a Taylor?
Yeah,
I do not have my glasses on, but that headstock looks Taylorish.
it's Taylorish.
Ah, the glasses came on. Yes. This is your daily driver?
No,
You stole that guitar from someone else.
it's not the one that gets played the most.
Really?
It's a
Why not?
nicer one that gets-
I have a Gibson J45 that has become kind of my favorite.
Oh, wow.
1965 is
So-
really sweet.
You keep it safely in the house where you can just
No,
play
I'll
it.
take it anywhere.
Except for past the hat.
Well, you know, it doesn't plug in.
Has a-
Ah, that totally makes sense. I don't feel quite as slighted now.
Yeah.
Among all of you, who has had your instrument the longest period of time?
It's not me because I just got it.
Yeah.
This is Susan's sweetheart.
Probably. When did you get yours?
Not 80. Well,
You win.
Oh, you
Yeah.
win. You win. Yeah.
So in the
Boy, made
20th
it.
century,
I think I win, actually.
Oh,
Let me
no.
get to a mic here. The guts of this banjo I bought in 1975.
Oh, how about
I
that?
was
wow.
playing in a bluegrass band then. I've recently put a new neck on it because the neck I built for it in 1975 wasn't very stable. But
So it's kind
the
of like
business end of this is 50 years old.
oh
it's
my
not quite the
gosh.
banjo of Theseus, but we're close.
That's impressive. And I'm also intrigued to stringing those guitars is always a good time.
Well, I have another guitar that is slot head, and I haven't drawn blood in years.
Good
so
on
I
ya.
felt like I could.
It was
I
time.
Could go and invest in this one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it, and it sounds great. All of
I love
you
this
sound
guitar.
absolutely
I love this
fantastic.
guitar.
And Nick, who are you playing today?
This is an Eastman mandolin. I am currently in the market for a new mandolin.
You're just throwing that out there in case someone happens to have one. They want
Putting
to
it
give away.
out to the world.
Do you have a
Manifest.
birthday coming up, or
I don't.
okay?
Well, sometime in the next 12 months, he does.
I mean, there's Father's Day, so
Easter.
okay. So all right,
Yesterday.
Lent.
Easter. I get that. I like that.
we have thrown that mojo out into the universe.
And we haven't heard about John's fiddle yet.
well, this is my cheapest fiddle. Well, second
Thank
cheapest
you.
fiddle because I got one that was just given to me out of the 12 or so I have. I was working in a violin shop up in Virginia before we moved back home here to North Carolina. And I was setting up fiddles, cheap student fiddles. And this one sounds like it's about 10 times as good as it ought to be. And
Always a
so
good thing.
I said to the boss, "Can I have this one?" And he said, "Well, you got to pay for it."
That's
But
not what I
set-
meant.
I set it up, and it's been my daily since then.
So you've got several fiddles at the house. What makes you decide I'm going off to a gig here or a gig there? Which one are you going to take with you?
Well, sometimes I want to play cross-tuned, and this fiddle I don't like to untune and retune and untune.
Gotcha.
So I have a fiddle for cross-tuning, and I have some fiddles I only play classical music on, and
That makes them
another
violins,
fiddle
right?
that I only play in the tuning of D, D, A, D, D-Dad.
Yeah, this one I only play on Tuesdays.
Yes.
Genre specific fiddling.
Well, thank you for putting up with Gear Time. Are you ready for another song?
We are ready
I think
for another
we
song.
are.
Yeah.
It's another one Jim
There's
wrote.
another one Jim wrote. He brought it to the band and first started with him singing, and Jim said, I think I should have Matt.
Yeah, I thought his voice would be better on it.
So I get the pleasure of getting to sing a great song written by a great songwriter called William Shine. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Carolina, by a creek deep within a gorge, lives a man, a local legend. His name, William Ford. He made the finest moonshine the world would ever see. No one has ever been able to match his recipe. Maybe something in the water, or the grain he grew on his land, 'cause there was no one else's liquor was in such great demand. The feds were after his moonshine, so he would not make any more and compete with the big distillers behind this unholy wall. Banjo now. The land was crawling with agents who would bust every still they could find. But the one they really wanted contained Ford's moonshine. They snuck up on William's cabin while he was on his porch, holding his dear musket and a jug of old 44. With name and big and fiery at every man he could see. But he was so outnumbered, he was shot dead in the melee. They still make shine in the mountains, and probably always will. It will never be as good as the corn from William Still.
Here's what some of you who are experiencing Fair to Middlin for the first time may not know. You watch these people sing very traditional sounding songs, although many are original, but they have between all of them countless letters after their names.
Yeah.
We get a lot of smart people in the studio. We really do. We get educators. Like whenever we ask someone, what's your day job? It's usually something that I have to Google, if I'm being really honest.
Yes.
So we know several of y'all. So what are you all? I know we've got PhDs and stuff in here. So tell us a little bit if you're willing. What's your day personage?
So I'm at Duke University. I teach in the medical school.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm
He
the assistant-
teaches at the medical school.
I'm the assistant dean of biomedical sciences education there, so I help to run the pre-clerkship curriculum. So I get to teach a lot in anatomy, histology, embryology. So I'm a PhD and an MS would be the letters after my name.
All right.
You are going to be such good friends with Kim Lane.
I am an armchair epidemiologist. We'll talk later. All right. Who else is willing to share? Got some letters after your name.
I also PhD. Also from the University of Michigan.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
I'm a PhD chemical engineer, and I work at the Environmental Protection Agency.
Okay.
I lead the Energy Strategies Group, so regulating air emissions or air pollution from energy-producing facilities, power plants, etc.
Hope you have funding for the next few years.
Yeah.
so
No
too.
kidding.
So I was an MD, but I retired from working for Pfizer in drug safety, and it turns out working for Pfizer during a pandemic can just about kill you.
Huh,
So
surprise.
I retired.
Yeah.
Good.
Life's good
That was a joyful day in your life, wasn't it?
Yeah, I actually can't think of a better day.
Yeah.
So, I recommend it. I really do. For
Yeah.
those of you who
keeps
can,
trying to get
it
me to
is. There's nothing bad about it.
Yeah. Anyone else?
People in the back row.
Sorry about that. I do have a PhD in
Congratulations.
environmental toxicology from Lehigh University. Until I retired 15 years ago now, almost, I was the senior toxicologist in the EPA air toxics program. So I got out before the current administration could fire me or force me to write
Okay.
5 bullet points a week.
Amazing. What you got?
Pinewood Elementary, 1961.
ELEM, y'all.
I was going to say, I am the only person in my extended family who doesn't have that d at the end of my name.
There's still
But
time. There's still
I told my sister I would call her doctor as soon as she started calling me master, because I do have an MBA.
Oh, there we go.
My wife and I had the same conversation when I was a master's. Yeah.
I just think it's nice that our audience knows that you're not always looking at just musicians. Even if you were looking at just musicians, you're looking at people with incredible talent, but we're looking at people whose talents and minds span depths so
But
we
you know,
don't
that's
even
just what you get in
understand.
this area. There's,
Yeah.
It's true.
there's just
But it's nice that all that can also inform your music. And while you're standing here in front of us, you're really just musicians.
Yeah, and also I think it speaks well of our area, and I think it probably also explains why people speak so highly of our songwriting community.
Yeah.
That it's not cutthroat
It's
and
collaborative.
competitive. Yeah. Because people have lives; they have real lives, and music is something that enhances their life. So if you ever had questions about that, I think that gives some insight to it. We've got a lot of smart people playing music.
Amen. And can you enhance our lives now with a little more music?
We can. So this is one. So this is one we didn't write, and but this is a fiddle tune that Jim brought, and John brought, and then it'll just get a little nuts after that. So from something Lynn brought.
from Lynn brought, and we first tried it, and we said that is a hot mess, and we're not doing it. And it evolved.
Fair to Middlin. Still live here in the studio.
We just had a generation gap moment here. Someone wrote on the socials. By the way, y'all are getting wicked engagement, so you got to check out the socials. Someone asked, "Where's Alice?" And Bob kind of looked at me and like, look, I'm Gen X, so I'm like, oh, who's Alice? And so, anyway, I was told by Allie over here that this song is named "Go Ask Alice."
You are younger than I
White
thought.
Rabbit by Grace Slick.
Yes.
Okay,
Jefferson
I heard that.
Airplane, but Grace Slick sang it.
Yeah. So I'm admitting to that. I'm here to admit that sometimes I have those generation gaps. I'm glad I asked questions.
So that was a mashup between a fiddle tune called Beth Cohen's, which sounds sort of Eastern European to me.
Yeah.
And then we noticed that the chord structures of the two were very similar.
Oddly similar.
Oddly similar. And so we did this mashup of the two. And
It totally worked.
And then in the middle, Bob was over here like funky Cole Medina. That was cool too. That was cool, but I don't think they're not down with that.
Yeah,
But
it
next
turns out
time, Bob.
This song is in the Locrian mode, so it has a flat 2 and a flat 3 and a
could
flat
totally
4,
wrap
flat
it on top
5.
of that.
It's
Okay,
like, yeah.
we've got probably time for one more song.
Song for one more song, but please remind folks where they can find and stalk you online and where you're playing next so they can come and see you and buy your music.
Yeah, so www.fairtomidland.com.
Midland has no G on the end.
That is correct, fairtomidland.com. And we are playing at Havoc Brewery in Pittsburgh on March 14th.
Friday,
Do you
That's
have
next
music
Friday.
on Bandcamp?
So on our website, you'll see, we
Okay.
have some songs on there. And we're probably going to get in the studio and do some more recordings. So
Okay. Go do that, buy their music, and also if you happen to be at bandcamp.com this evening, it is Bandcamp Friday.
That means 100% of the proceeds go to the artists whose music you are buying. Bandcamp takes no percentage, so support your artists, y'all.
And that means 100% left of the show is them playing their last song.
Yes. Take it away, y'all.
We didn't write this one.
John Prine song.
1, 2, 3, 4. I can hear the wheels of automobiles so far away, just moving along through the drifted snow. It's times like these when the temperatures freeze. I sit alone, just looking at the world through a storm window. Down on the beach, the Sandman sleeps. Time don't fly, it bounds and leaps. And a country band that plays for keeps, they play it so slow. Don't let your baby down. Don't let your baby down. Don't let your baby down. Well, the spirits were high till the well went dry. For so long the raven at my window was only a crow. I bought the whites in the inside fights, which the man was beating his hand against the storm window. While miles away o'er hills and streams, a candle burns a witch's dreams. Silence is golden till it screams right through your bones. Don't let your baby down. Don't let your baby down. Don't let your baby down. Storm windows, gee, but I'm getting
Fair to Middlin, live here in the studio. Y'all have been listening to and learn more at fairtomidlin.com. That's Middlin with no G on the end because we're from North Carolina, y'all.
Now, don't go away, though, because although we are going to shut down the live stream, so y'all wave farewell.
But hang on, let's
Here's-
get through this process first.
Here's where you can continue to listen to the show Toot Sweet, and that is at WHUPFM.org. Hit that play live button, and you will get to play live. If, however, you need to go get a snack and for the evening, pick it up later. Just look for our show, and you can get that stream probably in about 15 minutes after the show ends. We'll also be up ad infinitum on YouTube.com, and now Facebook.
Not forever on Facebook anymore.
Yeah, now they're telling people, well, you got to take down your videos after 30 days.
Oh, we don't have to take them down. They will take them down for us.
Yeah,
but we
how
still have
nice.
the permanent archive on YouTube, so we are good to go.
We do. So wave farewell, y'all.
And-
Great seeing you.
Before I kill the live stream, though, we do have a playlist that you guys brought in, and that will span the last 30 minutes of the show.
Yep.
If you can give me a quick intro to the first song, who's going to talk?
Ooh, I will. This is a song of Lynn's, featuring Lynn as the vocalist. And it was so hard to get Lynn to sing. But this song is hilarious, and she does it so beautifully. It's called Brutal Kangaroo, and it's on her album, I Am.
And you guys are?
We are
Midland.
Fair to Midland.
Bye, y'all.
But they're actually outstanding, just so you know.
Thank you.